Well, hey, it's Tuesday morning, and that means it's time for a trash talk.
Good morning.
How you doing today, Brandon?
Good. I went for a run this morning. It's still
Cool.
tripping out that I can see my microphone. I feel like it's part of my body coming off. Um,
It
starting,
is.
starting to question things. No, good. I went for a run this morning. I am so excited to have like 4 days off of work. Uh,
Whoa, that's a vacation.
oh God! And you know what? I sent a final text message out this morning to people I had to, and then I'm going ghost protocol. Uh, you know, I'm like. I'm if the place burns down, call the fire department.
Right.
If somebody quits, I don't care. I'm just out. So I'm excited about that. Been running. This is a big month for me. I try to do a lot of training because I'm returning back to the Big D climb at the end of March. I tried to do a lot of training last month, but kidney stones said otherwise. So now I'm back and I'm running, and yeah, I'm good. I'm ready to go this morning, man.
How many flights is that Big D climb?
72. It's
72 flights.
I forget how many steps. If it's stairs, it's like 1,700 and something. I don't know.
Wow.
It When you break it down that way, and this is what I tell everybody, and I don't want to go off on this. We do like 10,000 steps, 11,000 steps, 12,000 steps a day at work. I've hit 19,000 steps at work. It's not the steps. You're going up, guys. Like you got to remember, like these are stairs. These are
Right.
hard,
Right.
and you're going up, and you feel it.
Right.
So I'm excited about it. It's obviously this will be time my 11th time doing it. I haven't done it in 3 years, so we'll do. I'll do a lot of social media about it as I get closer. But anyway, we're
That's
here.
cool. That's cool. So, did you catch the Grammys?
Hmm. Yeah, I did. Excuse me.
It was, I mean, I think maybe it's my age, but
Probably.
they seem to be getting stranger and stranger every year.
Well, look, guys. I've talked to you. We've talked about shows like this in the past.
Yeah.
Uh, Oscars and all that. A lot of times, you get people that are winning because it is a popularity contest. It's not a talent contest. And
Right.
you should put popularity into play at some point. If the vast majority of the people going to concerts, buying your albums, I don't know what happened to my screen there, but I'm back. Buying your albums and all that, you got to take that in consideration. You know what I mean? But it's popular among the Grammy judges and the Academy, not amongst us. But I will say this, there is an age thing. Let's just be real. You know, Even with me, there are several artists that I've heard of. I couldn't name one song, not just because it's not my style. I just I don't even know where I would listen to them at. They don't pop up on my Spotify, and
Yeah.
look,
Yeah.
I'm pretty,
I
I'm
mean,
pretty.
it seemed to me that the only people that I really recognized were some of the presenters because they were people that have won in the past or have been in the industry for a long time. The new people, those that were performing, I didn't really know many of them. And it was surprising. And whenever somebody was up there on the stage singing their song, these are new people, first time performers. New artists, and they're up there, and I have never heard the tune that they're singing, and they get a camera shot of the audience, the people that, and they're all singing word for word.
What do you
They
think about this for a couple things too? Number one,
Yeah.
it's their job in the audience.
Well,
It's a show. 90% of the audience is people in the academy and people in the industry.
right,
It is
right, right.
to sit there and perform. So I mean, it's all a gimmick. It's all so. I'm not saying that some of them aren't legitimate fans of that music, and you can tell, but you got to look at it from another perspective too. I don't know what you're on Pandora, you're on Spotify. I don't know Amazon Music. I could probably guess the stations, quote unquote, that you listen to. That's not a knock. That's just your style of music.
Right, right.
You got a guy like me, I'm 46. I listen to still some stuff. I mean, I'm still listening to 90s hip hop, you know. I'm still listening to some 80s rock, 90s alternative, early 2000s. But then again, you know, I know Bruno's been around for a while, but you got, you know, but then again, I'm listening to modern stuff too. You know, I'm listening to current stuff. I'm also listening to electronic music. So, you
Right.
know, all depends. I think we go back to not what we grew up on, but what we just love and believe is music. And I do think that some of the modern music that's winning, I don't necessarily think it's great music. I think that 80% of the people that win Grammys are around the next year. We just talked about that before the show started. That's great. They had their moment. Salute, you got a Grammy, but
Right,
you're.
right.
But here's the thing for me. This is why I watched it, and I'm probably going to go off on this more than I should. Um, I am invested in one of my favorite artists, and he's been one of my favorite artists for a long time, in Kendrick Lamar. I am invested in Kendrick Lamar. I am a Kendrick fan prior to everything that's happened last
Yeah.
year.
He was the top winner of the night too.
5 Grammys. Look, and there's a lot of things that and he's about to perform. You know, well, he did perform at the Super Bowl. So we're about to go see him. Knock on wood, nothing happens to the concert in April. Luke and I are. Um, I say that because I have the worst luck with concerts. But I've been. I mean, I remember when his freestyle came out. I remember when he appeared on an Eminem track. I remember like I'm going back. I got his vinyl. Like he is. He's going to be on one in the Mount Rushmore of hip hop. He's going to be there just based on what he's done. And with and the current day of hip hop, the state of it, there are not a lot of artists that are doing that. They're not. They're one hit wonders. It's a different style, but he is true West Coast rap. So
Right.
I'm invested. I'm also invested because his rap beef that he has had with Drake has probably been the biggest rap beef that I could possibly think of, bigger than Tupac and Biggie. And I say that because that thing didn't last long because they both got killed.
Right.
Um, I mean, that was the impact, though. You know, that was big. That was horrible. We don't want that. We don't. We lost 2 great artists over something stupid. Um, Bigger than NWA and Ice Cube, and that was big back in the day. So the reason I say it's that big is he won 5 times for a diss track and diss album. Not only did he win for a diss track in the song, and I'm not going to repeat it, I'm not going to sing it because nobody wants to hear that. He is literally calling out Drake for being a pedophile. He is literally calling out people in a very smart way. You had the entire audience singing that song when he walked up. Now,
That's it.
Taylor
Yeah.
Swift has
Yep.
Swift has been a fan of Kendrick because she actually had him on a remix. So that makes sense. But all these people that were sitting there that probably worked with Drake at some point, probably had connections with Drake at some point, probably appeared. You got the entire Academy and audience singing that song while you're collecting your fifth. I'm sorry. That is huge.
Well,
That is
look,
stunning
I,
as a big.
I think a lot of Taylor Swift's career has been built around dissing people because it was all about she would break up with somebody and she'd write a song about them.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
good for her. I'm not a Swiftie, but I got respect for T Swift. I mean, that girl,
Yeah,
like her music or not, I love the fact that she embraces her awkwardness. I love the fact that that girl's got zero rhythm when it comes to dancing, but God bless her, she's out there.
yeah.
And you know what? She is doing her thing, man. Good respect, you know?
And every time the cameras, pointed to her, it wasn't like she was looking for the publicity. She was
She's,
really having the time of her life. She was getting into all the artists that won, even when she was one of the nominees. It seemed that it was the same thing with Billie Eilish. I mean, Billie
she's a
Eilish was
now,
was
Billie
she
Eilish.
was nominated for I think 4 or 5 and she got nothing, but she was just thrilled to be there with by the way the performance that she did with the set on screen, being out in the desert and all. That was great.
I got to tell you, Billie Eilish, again, I think I find her really interesting. I think that as she's gotten older, she's matured with her music. I don't
Yes.
necessarily think that she's my favorite. I can't say that I jam out, but I do like to see her career. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like to see, like, quite frankly, I think she probably should have won something. You know, the biggest thing for, like I said, the biggest reason I watched was Kendrick. Um, but you know, Beyonce winning her Grammy. Um, I'm going to take some heat for this.
I
I
know what
don't.
you're going to say.
I don't. I'm not a Beyonce fan. I used to love Beyonce, mostly just looking at her. But um, I liked her with Destiny's Child. I'm not saying Beyonce's not talented. I'm not
Yeah.
saying Beyonce got some bangers. I'm not, but I look back at her music compared to some of the other artists that have come in her day, and I see why she hasn't won. Um, Doing her country album, number one, I think it's great. I like to see artists gamble and
Eh,
look. Post Malone's
right.
country is awesome. You know what I
Right.
mean? So I'm not mad at that. There are some pure country artists that are like, oh, she's not country. I don't care about that. I just don't think did it really deserve it. I mean, or did they give it to her because it was about time? That's
Yeah.
all I'm.
My opinion, I think Beyonce is very, very talented, but I think she is more promoted and produced
I
than
agree.
some of these other artists. For instance, with Billie Eilish, she and her brother have such a connection. It reminds me of the old days of the Carpenters.
Yeah.
That they worked with each other and for the benefit of each other, and they weren't in your face all the time. Jay-Z, great producer and great artist in his own right. No, but he's a real heavy promoter, just as Quincy Jones, who was
Great.
beautifully honored. That honor to him with Herbie Hancock was absolutely awesome. And
Oh,
I've been a Herbie Hancock fan for decades too.
and I'm for it. I'm not saying that Beyonce shouldn't be nominated. I'm not
Right.
saying, and I'm looking back at all her nominations over the years, and I'm probably thinking this might be the one that she should have went for originality. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm not. I want to throw it
When
out
they
there.
they step out of their groove.
I'm not bashing it.
Yeah.
This probably took more guts and balls to do this than any of her other stuff. And so for that, okay.
Yeah.
But I don't hear the Beyonce conversation anymore because I frankly don't think that most of those nominations deserved it. That's just me. That's just me.
All right. All right. Now I'm going to put my neck on the chopping block. The one thing that I really have a hard time with is these over the top productions where someone comes out and does their song, which usually has two choruses, two verses, and one chorus that's repeated over and over and over again. But they got 30 dancers out there that are jumping and moving and all over the stage. That some of the new artists, Dochi, I mean, first of all, I little bit iffy with the briefs that she was wearing, as was a couple of the other artists. Chapel Rowan, I'm not sure I quite understand her. It seems to me that she was and this is just my opinion, she was a good artist that needed a hook to get more popular, and so she went with the makeup and all of that. And I these mass productions with the pyrotechnics and everything, I have a hard time with it.
That's so Chapel is one of the artists that I couldn't name one song from her. I know about her and I respect what she's doing because I see
I
some
had
interviews.
never heard of her before the Grammys.
I see some interviews that I like. It's not my style of music. She's
Yeah,
not, and frankly, I don't care. I also am going to go on record and say a year from now, nobody's going to care. I'm going to say it right now. A
yeah.
year, nobody's going to care. I was cool with Dochi. I'm cool. You know, I'm cool. I like the music. I like the album. I'm okay. Look, you got to think about it from perspective. Let's look at it. You got people like Michael Jackson who don't need a production. You know, that you got someone like Prince who is a production. He don't need it. You know,
Yeah,
you've got now go back to my boy Kendrick. You've got Kendrick who literally goes out there without a backtrack and sounds amazing. You don't need it.
yeah,
But you've got artists that are good, that are really good at what they do, but maybe they don't have that entertainment aspect. Like as far as if I'm going to a show, do I want to see them in concert? Maybe just to see them, but you want a show, so they have to give you that background. And
yeah,
plus, it's Emmys, so everything is extrapolated for that moment. You know, maybe you go on tour and they don't do all those dancers, they don't have the
yeah.
pyrotechnics. But I go back to heavy metal and I go back to like Metallica. Metallica was talented enough to come out there and rock. But guess what? You went to a show, you got pyro, you got
Oh
excitement,
yeah.
but it still worked.
The Who were that way. The Who really in their early years, their big claim to fame was they would destroy their instruments at the end of the show.
Well, look at a band that I think is highly overrated and completely get praises for the show more than the music. Look at Kiss. Music is all right. I'm not saying they're not talented. It's okay. It ain't nothing to write home about. But the show is a show, and that's what you want when you go to a Kiss
Right,
concert.
right.
Nobody wants to see them without their makeup doing acoustic
Yeah.
stuff. Okay.
And speaking of show, personally, I think Trevor Noah did a great job as the MC.
I like.
He he kept it rolling. And did you know that his promoting the fundraising for the disaster in L.A. Do you know how much they raised?
I heard a number, but I can't remember.
$125 million they raised, which is wonderful because a that was probably I think they said about a third of it was just from the public, from
Yeah,
him saying go to the QR code and make a donation, big or small, and the rest was from the people that were at the Grammys who also donated. But 125 million for the relief efforts, that's phenomenal.
it is great, and I hate to be this person. Um, I love that. I love that they did a concert to benefit
Yep.
LA of LA. I love that the artists came together. I will never say anything bad about that. To be the cynical or jerk side, it's amazing to me that they can come together that fast when it affects their own town.
Right.
Never came together for Hawaii. They never came together for the Carolinas.
Yeah.
I
Puerto Rico.
I'm just so and what gets and this is probably a different conversation. It's amazing what we as human beings can do when we put our minds to it and we say we're done fighting. We just want to help each other out.
Yeah.
Don't do it enough. We don't spread it around enough. And we only, you absolutely should take care of your neighborhood. You absolutely should take care of your state, your city, your people. But imagine if you did that for those places I just mentioned. I just think that that's something that we got to pivot on. That's all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they had the platform for it and they used it and it worked.
That's
Uh,
great.
and overall, it was a good show. Say some of these new artists, for instance, one of the new artists, Ray, from the UK. What a powerful voice she has.
I forgot about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
incredible. That was one of the highlights for me because it was again somebody I had never heard of, but she was good.
It's
Just like you mentioned, people like Jelly Roll and those that you look at them and you think, oh, it's just another come on, and then they open their mouths and their pipes just whoa.
well, and they got a story. I know a
Yeah,
lot of people Jelly Roll, and I get it, you know. He's like the fat version of Post Malone. But uh I
with a few more tats on his face.
but you know what, man? He's got a story, man. His story's amazing. His
Yeah,
ability, his true humble self is awesome. Like he talked about because you know him and Eminem did stuff together. And he was like, bro, he's like, I was just stunned. You know, here I am meeting Eminem. The guy's just excited, you know. And
yeah,
then he there was a kid. He stopped at God, I almost want to say Walmart, but that's too cliche. He's he stopped at I will say Walmart on the way to a concert, and a kid and his mom saw him, and he just gave him tickets. Come on, man, you're coming tonight. Front row tickets, merchandise, had it waiting for him. They didn't film it. It was the mom that talked about it afterwards. We're only here because Jelly Roll gave us tickets. Like, that's the sort of thing that you can get, whether you like his
Right.
music or not,
Right.
you can get behind that artist. And then
Yeah.
he went, he speaks at prisons. Yeah, he speaks at prisons because he's been there. He's been an addict.
Yeah.
Uh, I love that he went and performed at a prison because he had inspiration from Johnny Cash. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
I just,
Yeah.
I'm in. I'm in.
There's still good stuff, and well, we enjoy talking about music, especially. It's one of our favorite topics and all. And if you have uh, things you want to say about the Grammys or about anything that's on your mind, drop us a note and everything. We'll do a show about it or something. But
You have one final thing before we go.
you got it.
Very important message. Um, I just want to let everybody know that Drake lost, and Drake should stay in Australia, and Kendrick won. And Drake, you just got to take the L on this one, buddy. You got to take the L. Okay, I'm out.
Then that'll be our final word for Trash Talk for this week. We'll catch up with you again next week. Bye.